Hi everybody, I'm Dan Belmont. I'm the proprietor of goodwinegoodpeople.com and a longtime veteran of the hospitality, food, wine, cheese industries. And I am here with our friends from Wines of Germany. We are doing a 4-part series so that you can learn more about the brilliance of German wines. I am joined here by my co-host, Miss Anna.
Hi.
Introduce yourself, tell all the kind of folks who you are.
I am a cook, an author, food writer, and also a wine enthusiast. And I'm very excited to be here to talk about German wines.
And we're joined with London foodie Bryony. How are you?
I'm really good, yeah. Nice to be out in the sun, drinking wine. Yeah.
Absolutely. and really no better wine for sunshine than Riesling.
Absolutely.
So it makes perfect sense to kick this series off with Germany's flagship grape varietal, Riesling.
Perfect.
Right? And so let's start with this one. Do you guys drink much Riesling?
It's actually my go-to, it's my favourite.
Excellent.
I always find, is it sweeter? Is it meant to be normally? I find it normally is sweeter.
It can be, yeah,
Yeah,
it can be.
on the list.
What I like about Riesling is how versatile it can be. I mean, really, it's up to the winemaker how they want to balance that sugar and that acidity. Riesling, as a grape varietal itself, is naturally high in acid. So really, no matter how ripe you get the fruit in the vineyard, you're always going to have really excellent acidity. And then so that winemaker can then choose how to use the residual sugar in the wine to balance that acid out and create different flavor profiles.
I have to say, if I go to a restaurant, that would be my go-to. If I see a Riesling, I know it's going to be good, I know it's going to be fresh, crisp, and kind of light and easy to pair with most things on the menu. So I would opt for that.
Absolutely. Sommeliers really love Riesling. It is a sommelier's grape. This is, I mean, literally sunshine in a glass, and that acidity is just perfect for food pairing. It is a gastronomic wine,
Right.
and has just really a lot of variety and complexities for somms to play with. You're kind of a kid in a candy shop when it comes to Riesling. So there is quality Riesling produced the world over. But when you talk about Riesling, you have to talk about Germany.
Yeah.
They are intrinsically linked, and for centuries upon centuries. The first mention of the word Riesling in text dates back to 1435, right? Where some gentleman bought 6 Riesling vines. So you always want to swirl your wine. It's going to wake up the volatile molecules in the esters so we can smell more. If you're nervous about swirling in the air, little small circles on the table does the trick. Always practice with your whites before your reds. And then get your nose in there. Riesling is considered an aromatic grape varietal. It has really distinct flavor markers that leap out of the glass. What do you smell? No wrong answers.
He says that.
Yeah.
No, there's no
and then
wrong
it's just
answers.
internal judgment. One I always go, which I feel hits everything, apricot?
Apricot, yeah, absolutely. That really nice stone fruit, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like peaches, apricot, for sure.
There's definitely the citrus, the apple, zestiness.
Yeah, I got a really nice little lime zest, right? I think
Yeah.
it's a little more lime than lemon.
I'll take that.
But yeah, I think we're spot on. Super fruity, really kind of, you expect it to be fresh, you expect it to be crisp, and let's taste it. But I mean, I think on the palate, pretty much what we expected, right? A lot of citrus, a lot of tart apple.
Yeah.
On the mid palate, I think that's where all that stone fruit unlocks, where we get that apricot and that peach. Super long finish, and then that acidity kicks in, and it gets you right down in the jowls and gets you salivating, and that is awesome, right? It makes me want more wine, it makes me want food, it makes me want salt, it makes me want fat. I mean,
Cheeses
yeah, absolutely. So the first Riesling that we tried is the first Riesling, the pure mineral, right? Riesling, very famous for its mineral-driven qualities, right? This one comes from the region of Franken, which is on the far east side of Germany. Now we're going to move to the Pfalz, and we have the Sturmwolken. And this one is going to be slightly different from the last one, and maybe you guys can tell me why.
This one is way more, sort of feels more fresher, and definitely, so we're saying about apricots and fruits that I feel smells and obviously tastes much fruitier, where that has a less obvious sort of fruit that stands out.
This feels just sharper. I think it feels a lot more acidic. This feels much smoother, a bit more mellow.
And a bit more going on, like palate-wise. You can taste a few more things going on in this one.
Yeah.
This one is still great. So if you were going to a wine shop and you had to pick the perfect Riesling, how would you pick it? What would the bottle tell you that would be the best one for you?
Great. That's an excellent question. And there's a lot of clues you could look for. You know, German wine in general has the stigma of being quite confusing, really, and partly because the German language is
I was going
a
to say,
little
for us English,
confusing.
if
Yeah.
you're German, maybe not.
Sure, yeah. And so you have to have a little bit of a translator to kind of really pick it apart. But the thing that you look for is the word trocken. Okay,
Right.
trocken means dry.
Okay.
So if you do not want a sweet or off-dry Riesling, if you want dry, acid-driven Riesling, mineral-driven Riesling, always look for trocken on the label. Okay. From there is a hierarchy of sweetness levels that goes up, and they'll all be labeled that way. And so after trocken, you have halbe trocken, which means half dry. All right, so slightly off dry, a little bit sweeter, and then from there it just builds up. You know, for everyday drinking, I'm going to look for a dry Riesling personally, unless I'm going to pair it with spicy foods, and then I want a little bit more residual sugar. So then I'll look for halbe trocken, occasionally labeled fine herb too. So we have an acid-driven wine. Okay, we've got really nice fruit characteristics. We've got minerality, and we might even have a little bit of residual sugar. What do we pair with it? You're the foodies. What do you think?
I think the go-to has to be potentially quite a robust white fish, so maybe monkfish, maybe it's going to be a spiced or curried monkfish would be really delicious. Kaffir lime leaves, you've got the zest that it can kind of not compete with, but I think sit alongside really nicely.
I would just love like a shellfish dinner with like a crisp, even if it's just barbecued lobster tails or something, or shellfish.
Casual, yes.
I know. Well, you know.
Regular Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Well, why not? But with, yeah, a really crisp white Riesling would be perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us for this inaugural episode of our Wines of Germany IGTV series. We're so excited for you to see the episodes to come that are going to be released throughout the end of the year. This summer, July, do not miss 31 Days of German Riesling, where bars and restaurants up and down the UK are going to be highlighting the wonderful wines of Germany. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Absolutely, thanks. See you soon.